What's up, Mets fans? Orange and Blue thing back at you. Julia is here. There was a piece of wood blocking the LIE. That's why we are 1 minute late.
It was being moved as I was passing it, but it jacked my time up by, I think, 5 minutes.
Do you remember that time I was stuck in traffic on the LIE and when I finally pulled up, it was like a guy holding a sign that said he was like sorry to his girlfirend or something? It was like Zach or something like that.
I do remember that.
A couple years ago, we were like trying, and we came up with we were like, what could he possibly have done that he's standing on the LIE service road in traffic during rush hour trying to apologize to his girl? So it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you. We took last week off, which is kind of uncharacteristic for us, but
that's true.
I had some shit come up. I had a doctor's appointment, and then last Wednesday I went to Disney. So like it was almost impossible for us to fit a show in last week. A
lot more fun. Not that we don't have fun, but I would choose to go to Disney too.
So we titled this show that what does it say? Where is it somewhere? Believe it or not, there is some good Mets news. And when I texted you about this, and I texted Wardy, who's going to be on in a little bit, he just wrote back like LOL or something like, how could there be any good news surrounding this this Mets team? And I happened to be looking up a soundbite from last show we had where you said like something about your mental health has come into question or is stronger because you're a Mets fan.
Yes.
And there is no better time than to test your mental strength than right now, because the Mets are 20-22. And like I said, we haven't been on the air in 2 weeks. The Mets have only won 4 games since our last show.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Very honest.
Be honest.
I don't think I've watched a game since.
And you know what? I was talking to Lizzie about that too. Like,
I don't care.
There's no buzz.
No, it's like I have so many feelings about this. And I don't know how much into this we want to get, but like I've watched bad Mets teams the majority of my life. I have no problem watching a bad Mets team. I don't know what it is about this. I've said it before. I don't know if it's just the bad taste in my mouth from last season. I don't know if I'm getting older and I would rather spend my emotional energy elsewhere. I don't know.
I think that all those things combined add to it, because I was thinking about this too on the way in today, because when we go through stretches like this, I try to like tune out sports talk radio.
Of course.
And who wants to hear us complain about the Mets for an hour? I wouldn't watch our show.
No.
Like, that's why we don't do that shit, and we never have anyway.
Right.
But I think that a lot of what you just said kind of is the reason why a lot of people just don't care, because when a team is on paper supposed to be so good, and when they don't play up to par, then it's kind of easier to check out than when they're not supposed to be good. And you're like, well, this is my escape from reality.
Right.
The Mets suck, but fuck it, let's watch anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's like people are just disgusted.
I think
Justin Verlander is pitching tonight.
I don't care.
For the Mets at Citi Field.
I don't care.
Nobody cares.
No.
Which is like, I know that we're good partners with the Mets. Thanks for all the stuff that we have on the desk.
Listen,
here
we love
that
the
we
Mets,
give.
but
Obviously,
there's nothing exciting about what's happening. I've been thinking a lot about it, because like at first when the season first started, I'm like, is this just me? Am I just becoming like a grumpy, miserable person? I wasn't sure. Everyone I have spoken to feels this way. There is not one person who's like, the Mets are bad, but I'd rather watch them than anything else. Like that's no, like people.
Well, we've said before,
watching.
Like bad baseball is better than no baseball.
Right.
And you think about it too, like, would I rather sit tonight at Citi Field and watch maybe a bad team play? hopefully not, or shovel snow. I'd be like, well, I'd rather watch the game.
That's different.
So, when you do apples to oranges, like you said, you're busier, you're older, you have a hectic schedule. We don't live that close to the ballpark. You
know what?
$40 to park.
I know. I think there's 2 new factors now that come into play. One is, like we've discussed before, the pitch clock making games faster, making the incentive to spend the money for parking, take the time to travel to the ballpark less worth it. Also, like, I know for me personally, like if these 4:00 fucking starts, I'm working the majority of those games. I try to watch on my phone while I'm working, but it's hard. I'm working. And then it's like by the time I'm out of work, it's like the 7th inning. I could listen on the ride home, which is a 40-minute ride. So I could listen to baseball or I could listen to music. It's a long ride. But it's like if they're already losing, I don't think they're coming back. And I
which
think
is crazy.
I know.
They were down 3 the other day.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Disney,
it's over.
I was checking in. I'm like, how sad is it that you could look at this lineup and be like, oh, 3-run deficit. They don't have that in them.
Yeah.
Like the 8 8-run inning or whatever it was. I think it was 8
year.
or 9. No,
Yeah.
it was like 2 days ago.
Oh.
On Sunday when I was on my way home.
Didn't know.
On the flight.
They're talking about the comeback last year.
No, yeah,
Phillies.
of course.
Yeah.
Well, that was excellent against the Phillies. I was on Cinco de Mayo last year, but this past Sunday I got the Wi-Fi in the plane. I was watching the game, and for them to score like 8 runs in the inning was like so unheard of. It's like, wow, that the bats are alive.
That's
for
why
the,
I'm
for
honestly
the day.
shocked. This is news to me.
Yeah.
but I think it's that, and I mean, the pitch clock making the game shorter and everything. And the fact that this team can't come back, but I don't know. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is I don't know if this is like the Mets can't come back. I'm sure other teams have had better success coming from behind, but I feel like something about the pitch clock, it speeds the game up in a way that like it feels harder to come back and rally because everything is moving so quickly. And unless like at the start of the inning, you're like, I don't know why. And that could just be something I'm making up in my head, but that's what it feels like. But the other thing that I think comes into play is what we really have to think about here is this is really the first like consistently from the jump bad Mets team we've had since the pandemic, which I think is very important because I know, at least for me, the pandemic and quarantine, shutting everything down, and all of a sudden realizing things that you never saw as like options, like they seemed like givens, are now things that were taken away. And now we have the freedom to do anything we want with our time and lives again. And I know, me personally, I don't want to watch bad, boring Mets baseball in a world that I know like didn't exist 3 years ago. So
I didn't think about that.
I don't know if that's like, and I don't think people are realizing that. I didn't realize that until today.
Subconsciously, I think that you're 100% like, not to cut you off. I totally agree with your point because a lot, like I talked about this, a couple of years ago, like why I got back into dirt bike riding, because I didn't have the option to do that when I was wrapped up in going to so many baseball games and running the group and doing the outings. So like certain hobbies that you maybe picked up and other ways to occupy your time, which you couldn't do for a couple of years, and now you can.
And like I know, me personally, it's
good point.
I want to travel because travel was completely eliminated, and it's a matter of like, that's like, that could be like a big stretch for the Mets towards the end of the season. I don't know if I want to travel in October, and now I'm gonna just like, fuck it. Like if, and this is where I think last season is coming into play for me as well, because I was so all in last year. They were fun to watch. I was like rearranging my schedule to watch just regular season games because they were fun. And now I'm just like, one, it's impossible to want to do that when they're playing bad. But like, even if they were playing good right now, I don't know if I would have it in me after last season. For those two reasons combined, is that I dedicated so much of a year of my life, which now seems so valuable given the quarantine and just the fact that life is short, in just being invested in the Mets. And then it got to October. It literally was for nothing. They didn't do anything. And like, I'm not trying to be like whiny about it. I understand, shit happens and that's the game of baseball, but it's like, I can't get myself to invest my time, energy, money into something that's just not enjoyable. Like, I don't want to be like one of those bandwagon fans who like, I'll pay attention in September, but like, listen, if they're good by August, like I can't even say I'm like watching games because I'm not, but it's mostly because I'm missing them. They're happening so fast. I forget that they're on and then it's whatever. So,
well, let me ask you this. So, I was so pumped when like Harvey's, RIP to Harvey's career.
I know.
When Harvey's first ever started Citi Field, I was there. I made the sign.
Yes.
Wheeler's first day. Like, granted, Verlander is Hall of Famer. And he's at the tail end of his career. But for him to be pitching tonight and I don't care about it is bad.
It's sad.
That's a bad sign.
And that's what I'm saying.
When was the last time you were excited for someone's home debut? Like maybe Beatty or something like.
Not even and there's nothing against Brett Beatty. Brett Beatty's done nothing wrong, but it's just I associate him with this team. And even if it was
I can't think honestly, I cannot think of the last time I was excited to be like, I have to be there for this game because so-and-so is pitching or so-and-so is playing. That's a bad sign.
I don't think so either. Like even like I don't even remember feeling that way with like Pete Alonso.
The Mets are sending out emails, which I granted, I understand they need to do that. And like, I feel bad for the ticket department that like has to push like, hey, Verlander's debut. But like they're sending out texts and, emails and they have to, that's their job. But let's welcome in Wardy for a second. Cause I talked to Wardy a little bit.
How's it going, guys?
If you don't know Wardy, I don't know where you've been because he's very visual and vocal on not only Twitter, but YouTube and also We brought him on board to start, this new, it's not a new show, it's just a new name of a show.
Yes.
The Queens Korner is now on our Facebook and our YouTube. And I mean, our Facebook and our Twitter, along with all the platforms you guys have already had. So I texted Wardy earlier and I'm like, hey, try to come up with something that's good or positive about this season.
No
and
pressure.
I think
Mission
he wrote back
impossible.
like, oh boy, or LOL or something like that. So Wardy, number one, tell the people a little bit about your show really quick so we can do a little cross promo, because we talked about it many times on this show. We don't ever do the X's and O's. It's not our thing.
You're everything we're not.
We'll talk about more of like the fan experience and like, whatever, our outings or what we got going on. And you guys kind of break things down much differently than we do. So tell the people about your show and what you guys got going on.
Yeah, well, first of all, hope you guys are doing well. Happy to be on here. And yeah, very excited about the partnership that we've started and what we do with Queens Korner, my podcast with Anthony Recker, former Met, of course, and Joe Serralo. We really break down again the nitty and gritty from every series. We go over key statistics from those previous matchups, favorable matchups in the preview of the upcoming series, because we usually do a podcast on average after every series and then previewing the upcoming one. So we really do a complete deep dive on that and share our raw thoughts. We definitely have fun with it for sure. We're always cracking jokes and making laughs. Joe and Rec do a great job on helping on that front. But overall, we just really try to do our best in breaking down and being level-headed while also being rational at the same time. I think it's fair to be a Mets fan and be optimistic, but when things aren't going right for upwards of a month's end, which is the case right now, you kind of got to call them out a little bit, especially specific player performances with the type of expectations that this team had heading into the year. So if you're looking for pretty much unfiltered, where we're holding nothing back, but still being level-headed at the end of the day, then Queens Korner Podcast with the K is the place to be.
Look at you.
I love that.
You're a pro, man.
That was top notch.
So try to think of maybe, obviously, you come up with, specific players or things like that, or maybe even the billboard or them making the patches smaller on the sleeves, little things that don't actually have any impact on the field. But if you can think of one positive or one good news or something to have us hang our hat on, what would it be, you think?
I mean, good news, I would say there's a couple things. One, I think it's great to see how much the kids have thrived early on since they've been brought up. We had the expectation heading into the year that guys like Beatty and potentially Alvarez later on in the year, because not from what we saw in spring was him still getting acclimated from his ankle surgery last fall, that they would have an impact at some point, but they've returned and have shown an impact and then some already. Beatty's been on a little bit of a cold streak lately, but that's inevitably going to happen, especially when you're a rookie. Alvarez, on the other hand, though, has really, really looked sharp day by day. The bat to ball skills are certainly there. The defense is really impressing too, and he's the youngest player in baseball. Add that with a couple other guys, the two best players in minor leagues right now, Ron Mauricio, Mark Vientos. Feels like a matter of if rather when they're going to be called up. Pardon me, the other way around, when rather if. And hopefully the Mets make those decisions sooner than later with how inconsistent this offense has been. But pair that with the other obvious fact that, look, the Mets have faced plenty of adversity earlier this year. Their pitching has been the ongoing problem with the health, but thankfully they will be getting more reinforcements soon and hopefully getting more of a groove with guys like Verlander and Scherzer getting consistent reps every fifth day. Add that with the fact that, yes, we're 40 games into the season, 42 to be exact, but it's still early. Trust me, I've been ranting every single day covering this team for a living. But with that being said, it's still early, and we've seen the Braves have a worse start to the year last year. We've seen the Phillies have a worse start to the year last year, and look at the runs that they had. I always like to do those comparisons with fellow teams in the NL East because, like 2019, the Nationals, again, they were horrendous the first half this season. They unfortunately didn't get hot until they swept the Mets, if I'm not mistaken, when Kurt Suzuki hit that bomb off of Diaz in the ninth in DC. That was so frustrating a couple years ago when that happened. Then they went on the run to win it all. Then in 2021, the Braves had a really underwhelming first half, made some key acquisitions, not blockbuster trades, but guys that can really help add power to their lineup, something that the Mets will probably need to do this year. And that ended up being their MVPs in playoffs, leading them to a World Series victory. Then last year, even though the Braves fell short, they of course still didn't have a great start to the year. And the Phillies, they fired their manager because of the Mets, because of how much that they were slapping them around. And they went all the way to the dance last year and fell short to a great Astros team. So it just shows you that as frustrating as the Mets are right now with their expectations, there's still a lot of baseball to be played. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the season's over. It's far from it.
It also just sounds like the Mets kickstart people's season.
Well, I was just about to say too.
You're 100% right on that one. Yeah.
I was just about to say too, folks, if you watch Orange and Blue thing, that was the most Mets talk we've
ever
had like a consistent basis in like maybe the history of the show.
No, I need to just quickly say like how brilliant Wardy is. Like an example that I can give right now is Wardy did the SNY show was like Off Day Live, I think is what it's called. And somebody reached out to me from SNY to ask me to be on it the week after you. And they're like, oh, this was the first episode. Watch it. Let me know. I watched him. And I was like, no fucking way. Can I follow that? I said no because of how brilliant he is. So highly recommend.
we do have a special guest waiting in the waiting room. Hopefully you could sit for just a second. I'll get you on in a second. I just want to.
Do you have?
I have
Darren's
a very
surprising me with all these guests. I don't
very
even know.
Locked and low today.
I have a very. You'd think there's nothing good to talk about the Mets, but there is actually.
I do know.
We have a lot of good news to discuss. So, Wardy, let me ask you. Now that we're on the topic, you were talking about how Joe Girardi got fired by the Phillies. How long of a leash do you think Buck Showalter has? I mean, the man is so respected in baseball.
Even go there.
Could you ever imagine the Mets getting rid of Buck Showalter? I doubt it, but could you ever see that happening?
Unless the Mets are in a situation where, say, they're like at least, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 games below 500 at the halfway mark of the season, I just don't foresee that happening. I mean, there were valid reasons last year with Girardi because there was a buildup, and that locker room was not getting along with Girardi for a little bit. You know, there was a separation, and especially in how Girardi was handling, you know, getting beaten up by the Mets and other teams, like them getting off to such a horrid start. Like there was no one in unison, and the difference between that and say the Mets is, you know, Buck had a great first year with this team, and of course that same year isn't going to be the case this year, but I think there's something to be said with how Buck can hopefully try to figure things out and manage facing this adversity, something that he didn't face too much last year until, you know, they sat on their hands when they had that final month of lesser teams, the best schedule on baseball, and they only won a couple of games above 500. And then heading into playoffs, of course, they were underwhelming. So this is a key test for Buck to see how he does with adversity, but also keep in mind on the pitching front, his hands have been tied a lot of the times with the injuries that they've had. Relievers, they're calling up Joe Schmo every single day, it feels like, just to get a couple innings in there. So we can nitpick a lot of things, but Buck right now, you really can't say too much besides I would like to see a little bit more of a fire under him. It was nice to see what he did in that Red series. It felt like it was long overdue. I would have liked to see that earlier this season. But if Buck can just show those flashes and kind of give the team a sense of, you know, we got to wake up now, then, you know, I feel fairly confident with him still for the remainder of the year.
Agree.
All right, Wardy, before we let you go, I want to let the people know that you will be down there. Is Record coming too? You're going to come to Philly, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. Rec as of now says like he's a go, so we'll double check with him and make sure everything's good because he's always busy with the fam and everything. So yeah, goals that Rec and I will be with you guys June 24th, right?
Yeah, it's next month. So that Saturday game against the Phillies, we're going to be down there. And the internet kind of blew up again the other day because last year, you saw last year when the general threw out the first pitch.
Yeah,
right?
yep.
So last year, the general was, well, let me backtrack. The Phillies, since the Phillies fans were furious, and rightfully so. I would hate to see a Phillies fan throw the first pitch at Citi Field, but when you sell like 1,500 tickets, there's certain perks involved.
You get something in return.
So it's in writing that says if you sell this many tickets, you get to throw out an honorary first pitch. So last year I was like, all right, well, who's going to throw this pitch out? I'm not going to do it. I don't know how we landed on Andrew, but
because why wouldn't you? So what a presence.
The general threw out the first pitch wearing his orange T7LA jersey. You know, no one that was there seemed to really kind of realize or think like, hey, maybe we shouldn't allow him to wear this. So he went out there, threw out the first pitch, and we saw what happened afterwards. So, Wardy, we're gonna have to announce who is throwing out the first pitch in just a second.
Because they did let us do this again.
They're letting us do it again. But come on down, Wardy. We'll see you next month in Philly, and definitely come hang out in the pregame. All right.
Can't wait. Thank you guys for having me on. Have a good one.
Absolutely.
Thank you too.
So, you know, the offer was extended again for this year. I got the paperwork through the email, and I'm like, wow, they're letting us do this again. I thought for sure it was going to be off the table.
They're going to be much happier with you this time, though.
Yes. So when I retweeted ourselves, basically, and I put the video up again of the general throwing out the first pitch, Phillies fans were like, I don't even know why they follow us or how they caught wind of it, but they started quote tweeting us being like, how could the Phillies allow this to happen again? We're the laughing stock of baseball. how could the Phillies do this to us?
Listen, to be fair, the Phillies got the last laugh. They went to the freaking World Series
Right,
last
exactly.
year, so like, relax.
Well, some people also said that. Some Phillies fans were also like, you know what? Screw it. Let them do it.
I know. I can't even talk.
Right. No,
whatever.
Big deal.
Yeah.
But they called Sports Talk Radio for like a week. A week after that, complaining to the Phillies, whoever listens to
Andrew's power knows no bounds.
But some Mets fans that live down in that area caught wind of it, and maybe they were traveling through Jersey or whatever, and they would, record the radio and send it to me, and I'd get a good crack out of it. So I wrote the other day on Twitter, they're going to let us do this again. And then I got a reply.
Yes.
Let's welcome in Gregory Pellegrino for a second. So I got a reply from Gregory on Twitter. What's up, Gregory? How you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make sure that everyone could hear you nice and clear. So I see you wearing your Mets jersey. So I get it.
I kind of had to. I had to.
Absolutely. So I'm not sure if anyone kind of connected the dots and started looking through the tweets to see what your reply was, but you had replied and said, I have a good nomination, and how about you let my son throw out the first pitch? And I started clicking through it. I'm like, wait, so how is your son a Phillies fan? So can you just explain to the people for a second the connection between you and the Phillies and your son Bennett for a second?
Yeah,
as many seconds as you want, because it's a great story.
Yeah, take your time.
I think that this is going to work out beautifully for you guys and for the Mets fans and also the Phillies fans. I think everyone should be happy with this honoree.
Absolutely. I'll try to, give the short, condensed version if I could. Bennett is going to be 10 years old next month. He was born 3.5 months early back in 2013, spent 7.5 months in the NICU, finally came home January of 2024 with, he had some medical issues and whatnot. And then prior to his third birthday was diagnosed with liver cancer. So with that, my wife and I started a foundation called Bennett Strong, where we, our way of giving back to those that have helped us. So many people helped us during Bennett's NICU journey. And we decided, let's start our own foundation called Bennett Strong and help other families going through NICU journeys similar to Bennett. The Philadelphia Phillies have been awesome to us and our foundation over the years, especially when Bennett went through cancer. Bennett was one of the on-field honorees during their 2017 pediatric cancer night. Bennett was able to meet Philly legends John Kruk, and he also got to meet Mike Schmidt as well. And Mike Schmidt was really cool. He took the time to talk with Bennett and everything. And that Christmas, we got a care package in the mail from Mike Schmidt with a bunch of Philly gear for Bennett, and also a signed photo of him and Bennett together during the meet and greet during that pediatric cancer night. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
so
that's how Bennett is a Phillies fan, and
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so I just popped the photo up there of your reply of Bennett rocking his Phillies gear and the Fanatics hat. I love it, or maybe it's a headband, but I love it. So
yeah, the Bryce Harper headband.
We kind of found a beautiful loophole here because you're a Mets fan and your son's a Phillies fan. So we're going to kind of try to make everybody happy here, where it is the Seven Line Army's honor, but Bennett, who is a Phillies fan, is going to do the honor for us, which I think is beautiful.
Yes.
So I was going to pop up your website here for a second so I could, give a little shine on that as well. So I see there's a date on the top of the screen. Is that Bennett's birthday?
Yeah, that's Bennett's birthday. Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys want to check out BennettStrong.org, let me pop this on the screen really quick here. I should have had that queued up, but there we go. BennettStrong.org, and there's all different buttons you can click there. There's a gala each season. There's a donate button, and I think that we're just we're happy to have someone like yourself and Bennett represent our group. And baseball is like we talked about earlier in the show. Baseball is fun. It's an escape from everyday life, and it's a good hobby for us to do as fans of the game, and it's entertainment, but it's really just a game. And like we go and we like to push buttons, we'll boo other fans, and that's just part of it. And I'll push buttons on Twitter because it's just what we do. It's exciting, and not exciting, but it's fun,
right.
And it's all in good fun. And I think that this is going to go a long way for just like the partnership between Mets and Phillies fans. We could sit there together and shake hands and say, hey, you know what?
I think we can bury the hatchet from last year with
pitch.
this.
It's a first pitch. It's something that should be celebrated as a fun thing. And although the general did kind of wipe the floor with you guys last year with his jersey, this year we're kind of turning over a new leaf.
So I have a question because, and I don't know if we will have any control or input over this, but just to ask the question, if Bennett could throw the pitch out to any member of the Phillies, who do you think he would choose?
I think it's always the Fanatic.
Is it always the Fanatic?
Well, unless he gets a choice.
Listen.
I think it's always the Fanatic. But,
okay.
So you're going to be escorting him out there. I wonder if they're going to let you wear a Mets jersey. That's.
I spoke to my wife about that. It might be her.
Okay.
She's a self-proclaimed Phillies fan. She comes to the 7-9 outings with me, just kind of like a date night type thing.
Yeah,
we've gone to all the Philly ones, so it's it was.
Well, yeah, you've been down.
Totally fair.
You've been down with the with the group for a long time. Like not that I wanted to do my vetting or anything, but I was like, is this true?
Yeah.
Is this really a Mets fan? Or not that anyone would really lie about this, but I wanted to like see what it was. And I looked up your name and I was like, oh wow. Gregory's been down since 2015. Yeah. I don't know if you know that, but your first order on the site was 2015. So you've been around the block with us. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I have like 20, 30 t-shirts. So
I appreciate that.
Awesome.
This is great. So our best to you, your wife and Bennett. I can't wait to see you out there, and we'll find out. If you are going to be out there with him instead of what's your wife's name? I'm sorry,
Mary.
So if you do the honors instead of Mary, I wonder if they will let you in this instance wear your Mets jersey or at least the outing T-shirt.
At least the outing T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, and we can announce that now. The outing T-shirt. We tried to do a little spin. Remember a couple years ago we did the Fresh Prince.
I love that.
Last year was like the love sign, although we couldn't do it exact because we don't want to get sued. This year was supposed to be a parody of "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia."
Oh.
But I guess any word that you put with "It's Always" and then Philadelphia, you can't even change the word in the middle. So it was going to be "It's Always Amazing in Philadelphia" with the 7-Line Army.
That's so good.
Now we can't do that. So it is going to say "It's Always Amazing on Broad Street" with the 7-Line Army.
Fine.
So that's what the shirt is this year. You guys are going to be getting them in the mail about 2 weeks before the game. But Gregory, I appreciate you popping on with us. I'm very excited about this, and I think that the Phillies fans should be as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me. And I'll during the next month at the outing, I'll bring some Bennett Strong swag for you guys.
Amazing.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to wear that. So we'll see you down there, and good luck. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Oh, that was the good news.
Great news.
Good news.
We could end on that.
Mets. I know.
We could end on that.
We shouldn't though, right?
So Gregory and I think you said Mary and Bennett.
Yes.
I mean, it's a weird thing to even think about. Like, oh, is this true?
No. But it's also listen.
It is 2023.
Yeah.
It is the internet.
Yeah.
People can, lie about whatever they want, but Gregory's obviously the real deal.
Incredible.
So we're very excited about that. So there is a tailgate this weekend on Saturday. Oh, wait, before we get to that, we 2 weeks ago, we got these Mr. and Mrs. Met robot, made by robot dolls, whatever they want to call it. And we are giving these
knit by robots.
We are giving these away for free. And it's only Twitter now. We are done with the whole YouTube, do it on Facebook.
Have you caught up to the people?
I'm pretty sure I'm caught up.
Okay.
If I'm not
if you
caught up,
haven't gotten what you're owed from Darren, harass him.
Believe me, I think I'm caught up. So we are giving these away, and let's just do that right now.
Okay.
Next up will be this Francisco Lindor bobblehead.
This is cool.
That grows grass that you can get on Saturday, which is an outing day and also a tailgate day. But look at this.
Let me see.
Do you think
Can I read it? I can't read it.
But do you think that these seeds are the same seeds from our grass? I didn't even have to go through that whole song and dance. I could have just waited for this and planted my own. They're giving you the seeds. Are these Citi Field seeds? Look at this. There's a picture of the grounds crew. The head. What's his name? What does it say on there?
Bill Deacon.
Okay, so is he head grounds crew?
Executive Director, Field Operations and Landscaping.
That's awesome.
And Bill's grass growing instructions are included. I'm going to
tell you too, if you are going to the game on Saturday, this is the biggest box I've ever seen for a giveaway ever. So whether you need to bring, you could bring drawstrings, you can't bring backpacks. You could bring our like canvas tote bags.
Yeah.
If you're going to the game, you're going to want to keep this. Obviously, it's a great bobblehead, but this is huge.
Yeah.
And the reason being is this piece of foam goes between.
I mean, the base of it's just big.
Because of it needs to drain.
Yeah.
Because you're going to put water in it and grow your own grass. You didn't think anyone was going to want that free grass that you don't have to do anything. You got to bring this home and get your own potting soil.
Well, yeah.
Because it's not a chia.
Sorry, who wants to?
It
do
is not
that?
a chia pet. I thought initially everything was done.
Me too. I thought it was a chia pet.
No,
too.
you have to get your own potting soil and then mix the
no
seeds
one's doing that.
So this comes like this in the box with the piece of foam in there, I guess, so it doesn't chip or break. So the box is big.
Yeah.
And the bobble is regular size, but
This is an awesome bobblehead, though.
It is, but you didn't even want that free grass. On this, you got to get your own.
People are going to be fighting for this.
You think so?
Well, yeah.
Maybe just this.
It's just
because the seeds, this is awesome. So
oh my
there
God,
is, I think we talked about it last week on the show, or maybe I talked about it on Instagram. There are 6 steps to growing the grass.
Bill's grass growing
instructions. Number 1, spread the potting soil to fill up the inside of the base. Number 2,
Lizzie is listening.
Evenly spread the seeds around the soil. Number 3, add a thin layer of soil on top of the seeds and water the bobblehead base. Number 4, put your bobblehead in a window where it gets plenty of sun. Number 5, keep your bobblehead soil moist until seeds sprout.
Ew.
I think I did say this and you didn't like the word or something.
I hate the word.
And
moist.
number 6, seeds should sprout in approximately 15 days. So there's 6 steps to this bobblehead, and you have to get your own dirt.
That's
basically.
maintenance.
So I don't know.
That's
but
like homework.
Either way, if you want one for free and you don't want to carry it around the ballpark,
I want this.
Well, we have 3.
Well, I'm going.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll have to leave it like the second inning, but I'll get through the door.
Okay. So we have 3. 1 is staying here. 2 are going to be given away on Twitter right now. All you have to do if you're watching on Twitter is hit the little retweet button. If you're listening afterwards, pop on over to our Twitter, hit the retweet button. If you're watching on YouTube, go to our Twitter, hit the retweet button. And that's it. And then next week, we will select the 2 winners. The winners of the Mr. and Mrs. Met are at Stan NC, no spaces.
Woohoo.
And at JoePro41, both on the Twitter. And I promise I will send you DMs today to get your email addresses, not your email addresses, your mailing addresses. And I guess you guys can fight over who gets what. I'm going to just decide.
I think the first person to respond to you gets the choice.
Stan is getting Mr. Joe Pro is getting Mrs.
All
Sorry,
right.
I just decided. And next week, we will announce the winner of this Lindor. Actually, the 2 winners of this Lindor bobblehead.
Cool.
So tailgate this Saturday, we will be at Citi Field.
There's rain in the forecast.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
I know. What do you mean me? I didn't bring the rain.
Well, you definitely aren't helping it by any means.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually planning on going to this tailgate, so I was very excited.
Yeah, it's like your first of the year.
Literally my first of the year, and then I saw there was rain. And I was like, "Well, crap."
Well, you're still gonna go.
Yeah.
May 20th, this Saturday at Citi Field. If you've seen when we've tailgated in inclement weather, they're sometimes even more fun because we park under the highway.
I know.
And just rage out.
The only reason I
hours.
wouldn't, and I will, because I need to go and I want to go. But the only reason I can't stay for the game. I have to leave at like 4:30 or like 4:45.
Yeah, that's like nothing.
I know.
What do you got to do?
Work.
Oh.
So.
All right. Well, the tailgate should be fun. So tailgate this Saturday at Citi Field, our usual spot in the marina lot. If you need to know where to go, just go to our blog and click on the thing that says tailgate on the 20th. Scroll down. There's even a map. Here are some photos from Drea from our last tailgate, which was very fun. And, we like to say this around here. And unfortunately, we haven't had to say it in a while because the Mets were actually playing good. We are undefeated at tailgating. So the Mets lost this game, but if you look at these photos, you would have never known because we had such a great time before the game playing Courcane. If you know what Courcane is, if you don't know what Courcane is, it's a new game. You should check it out. Yeah, it's the best game ever. Richie hates it. Marina East, Corona, New York, 11368. There will be a giant cooler that we bring. Anything that's in that cooler is free. And, enjoy it while it lasts and, do your thing there responsibly, of course. So Marina Lot this weekend on Saturday. Let's play Guess That Baseball Card Round 9. There is only 3 cards left.
Thank God. I didn't get Jose Reyes last week.
If you don't remember,
I don't know how this is going to go.
My daughter gave me a box set of Topps cards of, there's the noise, of random players and years throughout Mets history. And we are on 9 now because we skipped a couple, even though this is episode 12. So Some judged the Mets signing of blank for 2016's redundant to their depth chart. What?
Okay.
Some judged the Mets signing of blank for 2016.
They already had somebody at this position,
but
and
he proved indispensable. He not only played his position superbly, but also
they
was
got
there
him for the 16th season or 17th season.
They got him for the 16 season.
Okay.
And before that, he played for the Rays, the Nationals, and the Indians.
Okay.
He played his position superbly, but was also the first
Cabrera.
shortstop to ever hit 20 home runs. Yes, Asdrubal. Wow, you got that very quickly.
Yeah.
So no one else had to chime in from the comments before you.
Wow, I think it's the first time I beat the fact checkers.
So Baltimore went up today. Let me do a quick check of what's going on with Baltimore, because it's always hard for me to like schedule. Like I was saying, the Mets have to do their job and promote things even when the team's playing poorly. So like the Los Mets hats came out last week, last Tuesday or Monday, whatever it was. People were like, how could you promote hats right now? And I'm like, well, we have a schedule. We have a business to run. If I only put out new products when the Mets are playing good, I'd be out of business.
You never would have made it.
No.
You started
so
in what
unfortunately
year?
you got to promote, or there is no brand, there is no outings, there is no group. So the outing went up today at 10 a.m. and over 1,000 tickets sold. We have less than 500 left. So if you're interested, go to the 7linearmy.com. Yes, there is a website. Scroll down to the Baltimore little graphic and click that and purchase your tickets. Obviously, we will be tailgating prior. On that listing, there is also a link to purchase your discounted hotel if you want to stay over, or a discounted round trip bus ride, same day round trip bus ride. It does not drop you off and then bring you home the next day. And I believe that's a 4:00 start. So Baltimore is not that far away. So it's not that far of a trip. So what's going on here? So there you go. Baltimore, it is $88 a ticket. It includes the t-shirt, the special event patch, and the ticket to the game. If you went in 2015, we were down the left field line right behind the home run.
That was so fun.
Home run, the foul pole. And we're going to be in the same area except for way more tickets. I think that outing had like 600. It was a weekday.
Yeah.
We don't normally do weekdays, but since it's close, and back then the Mets didn't play the Orioles all that often. Now we're going to play them every year. So we figured we had to go. So same area except like twice as many tickets. Section 66 to 76. So I believe that's 5 sections because they all, it's odds and evens. So yeah, head on over. If you need 80 seats, let us know. We will make sure you are accommodated, and it should be a fun time there. So London, let's talk about London really quick.
I know.
You just said that,
I want to travel.
You like to travel.
But I'm going. I'm truly.
Have you ever been to London?
I haven't, but I'm gonna be honest. I really have no desire to go to London.
What?
I'm not like I want to go see like big cities person. I'm like I want to go be out.
Like experiences, Iceland and shit like that.
Yeah. So London was never really something that I felt like a desire to go to. If it's for a Mets game and we're all going, I know I'd have fun, but it's one of those things where like I'm trying.
You're like, if I have to go to London,
it's just like I feel like I only have it within me and my budget, and like, I'm trying to save some money to only take like one international trip a year. And what I'm deciding is if I want that to be my one international trip.
Let me see. Year. Oh my God, I just got another email from the Mets.
About tonight?
Yeah, tonight. Verlander. I'm sure you guys all got it too at 1:36. I mean, they have to do it.
Yeah.
But like the only person that might be excited about this is like Kate Upton.
I tweeted tonight. I retweeted somebody saying that Justin Verlander was pitching, and I'm like, yawn, but like I'm honestly really excited to see Kate Upton's outfit because I'm sure she's gonna look fire.
Let me look this up because I do have info about this, but I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say yet. They have talked about our participation. So the 7 like we're going, like we're definitely going.
Yeah.
So like I already tweeted about it. I don't know if people saw it, but we are definitely going. The logistics on it and how we're going to sell them, I'm not really sure yet. I'm not sure if it's going to be considered a home game or an away game.
Right.
Because if it's a home game, we could probably run up the landing page like we do for our home outings now.
Mm-hmm. And
it wouldn't be part of our package. Obviously, you can't make people travel to London.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's going to be expensive. I don't know if anyone wants to chime in the comments.
How much is a flight to
how
London?
Much? London's actually not that far. I mean, it's
I know.
It's not like flying to Australia.
Nothing seems far to me anymore. I did an 18-hour flight to New Zealand.
Fuck that.
Straight. No stops.
No, I don't like that at all. Did you get an aisle seat on that?
I got an entire row to myself.
No way.
Yeah.
Well,
I was monitoring the seat map all week, and I just kept moving when someone would sit
No
next to me. I was
way.
the only person on the flight with an entire row to myself. I just laid down the entire
Well,
flight.
that's beautiful.
Everyone
Imagine you were
hated
stuck
me.
like this for
I
18
know.
hours.
Well, on the way home,
you
I was
see that
stuck in the
lady that
window.
just cooked for 4 days straight?
What do you mean?
I know we're all over the map here, but this
cooked food.
cooked food.
I thought you meant like cooked, like baked. Like
no. She
cooked.
just broke the world record for the most amount of hours to consecutively cook. She wasn't allowed to have coffee. She couldn't sleep. She
Why
couldn't
can't she have coffee?
because they didn't want anything to be like, they didn't want it to be like
Steroids?
laced with
Performance
like
enhancers?
speed or something. And like, how's this lady staying awake for 4 days? So she cooked for 4 days. They kept track of how many meals she made. I guess they were donated to somebody. They weren't charging for the
Oh my God.
for the food. Or maybe they were. I don't know. I don't know all the
That's nuts.
details, but she just cooked for 4 days.
I don't know. I was literally thinking like a woman was like baked.
She was allowed to have like a 5-minute break every hour or something like that.
Okay.
But which is enough to like have something to eat and like go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Depending on who's going to the bathroom. Sometimes I take longer than that. But 4 days straight. So anyway, London.
London.
We're going. The details aren't really set in stone yet. We're not exactly sure, but we are going. We'll figure it out. Anyone in the comments that did go to any London game, maybe watched a different team play, let me get an idea of how much the tickets were, because that's good. I'm sure they're going to be expensive.
And what the stadium was like, and what the
I
experience
heard it's not that
was
great
like.
because it's not a baseball
That's
stadium.
what I'm saying. Is like, if I'm going to make my one international trip of the year to go to a shitty stadium to maybe watch the Mets make fools of themselves.
Oh, stop.
But I don't. That's where. Listen, the way they're playing right now is not helping. So that's what I'm thinking about. It's like I'm watching this team play. I'm like, I'm going to travel across the pond for this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Someone just put in the
probably
comments.
will.
I don't know how to do conversion rates here, but you know that like the E
Is that
pounds or
euro?
something?
Pounds?
I don't know, euro, whatever. It's 6-hour flight from JFK Terminal
is
5 to Heathrow Terminal 2. I personally use JetBlue. Some have said the tickets are like around E100. What's E? Am I saying this wrong?
Yeah, but I don't think it's. I
Is
don't
it
know.
pounds?
It's either pounds or euro. I'm not sure, but it's not too far off. It's not too drastic of.
I went to
conversion.
London for a BMX trip. Oh, by the way, I raced BMX. I won. I got first place.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
So it was a New York State qualifier, which I'm not racing the state championship by any means. I just don't feel like it. But
Yeah, listen,
there was
you're
a local
winner.
qualifier. Not that many people showed up, but the guy that
But
got
you did.
first and second of last year, because they have the number plates that say 1 and 2, I beat them. So if nothing else, I fucked with their points a little
Yeah.
bit. So like the records and going into the
You're
finals
a
and shit.
starter.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
Amazing.
first place, and the announcer was like, "This guy hasn't raced in 30 years." It was great. Anyway, euro. Okay, so 100 euro. Let's figure out what that is.
Wow, I'm surprised I got that correct.
I
really thought I was wrong.
100 euro to dollars. What does that come out to? 100. That's the same thing.
Yeah, there's like not much difference.
Wait,
to U.S.
that
dollars.
couldn't have been the flight. So that's the game. Pounds, whatever. So some say the tickets are like $100. That's not a lot at all.
Yeah.
I expected it to be a lot more than that.
Oh no. The
Subway Series
tickets?
is more than that.
Well, no, you have to think like a game in London.
I think that the
It's-
stadium is
fans-
gigantic
But
too.
also the fans of these teams have to
There's a
travel
lot of
to
Mets
a different
fans out there.
country. In London, you think they're going to fill a stadium if they make them that expensive? Probably not.
Let me see. London Series baseball. Oh, by the way, I got a very funny email from. Yeah, it's gigantic. Look how far away that is. Like if you're in the outfield.
Oh my God.
That's a soccer stadium, I
Yeah.
guess. That's huge.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Anyway, a Phillies. I mean, more power. I mean, I get why this person reached out, because clearly, I mean, not to toot our own horn, like the Sunlight Army's big, you know.
Right.
So the Mets are going to be playing the Phillies in London.
Okay.
So a Phillies guy was like, we should team up and sell tickets, and like he's for his Phillies group. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, we're just basically giving you
Promo.
right. Why would
Yeah.
I ever do that?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like this. If there's like a person that's on like a record as like a backup or like a
Yeah.
what do they call it? Like
Like a feature.
right. What do they? Is that what they call it?
I guess. Yeah. Like a featuring artist.
I guess like a guest on a song or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I don't need that. So I wrote back. I was like, yeah, no, we're good, man.
No
Like,
thanks.
appreciate it, but if you go there, have fun. Like, but we're not gonna help you promote your outing to
Yeah.
your Phillies fans so you could kind of ride our coattails.
Right.
Anyway, so that's not happening.
Silly.
What else did I? Oh, so everyone's out. Knicks are out.
Oh, I know.
Rangers are out.
I know.
Devils are out. Islanders are out. Nets are out.
They've been out though.
What is there to do?
Unfortunately, watch the Mets.
Well, no, this is how we're getting to tick pick.
Well, of course.
So what else would you what else would you want to buy tickets on?
Taylor Swift. I dare you to go on TickPick right now and look at the prices of Taylor Swift concerts.
I will. And by the way, that clip you sent me the other day, of her yelling at a security guard.
Yeah.
Watch it again.
It's her backup singers.
When she stops singing to yell at security, the song is still going on.
7 backup singers on stage singing it with her.
I don't know. I don't like it one bit.
Oh my God.
Listen.
You're such a cranky old man.
No, I don't really care. But I mean, it's if she wants to lip sync, more power to her.
She's not lip syncing.
I don't agree with you one bit because after I actually screenshotted a couple things, I thought you were going to reply and you didn't. I was like, I
had wrote out so many replies. So I'm like,
I was saving things for when you replied. I was going to reply back to you with all these screenshots and I didn't. A lot of people on the internet talk about her lip syncing.
No one who's talking about that has actually been to her show.
I mean, it's on Google. It
must be true if it's on Google.
Let me scroll back. Hold on, because this is important stuff here.
This is so silly.
Does Taylor Swift lip sync in concert? A close look at her live performances. Yes.
What year was
most
from?
likely Taylor Swift lip syncs in concert? It's the first sentence. This is on Google, and Google doesn't lie. The internet is undefeated.
Darren, you're making yourself look worse with each word you said.
Read it.
It's Google. What kind of source is that? You
Google.
could go on any website and say that.
You know why? I don't really care. I just like that you get so fired up about this.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Okay. Anyway, what I am doing also is going on TickPick.
And look at the ticket prices right
I
now.
bought tickets to, possible Game 7, which didn't happen because the Knicks shit the bed on Friday night.
You did buy?
I bought them. And, guess what? The second that they didn't make it, I got my refund from TickPick immediately.
No, they're really, really good about that.
So
that's Mets games too. If a Mets game gets canceled, you immediately get
It was
a refund.
instant.
Yeah.
So, we talk about all the time how easy it is to buy tickets on TickPick because not only is it, no fees and so on and so forth, they instantly go to your ballpark app.
Right.
So MSG uses Ticketmaster. So I bought my tickets through TickPick. Then I instantly got the email from Ticketmaster. The tickets were waiting in there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fucking money.
Yeah.
So not that I didn't want to spend the money, but when they lost on Friday, I was like, at least I got a ton of credit back.
That's how I felt when the Mets got knocked out of the playoffs and I was going to New Zealand in a couple months. I'm like, I want to kill myself, but this is probably for the best.
I got the money back instantly. So TickPick's, it's the best. It's seamless. We love it. We use it. We used it before they were even a friend of the show.
Yes.
But like we said, everyone else is out. So, obviously the Jets are looking good for this season. We
Look
hope.
At those prices.
We have Taylor Swift. Oh my God.
They're going up.
We have Taylor Swift. Did you get your tickets yet?
Yes, I got my
something?
ticket for free, baby.
That's
and look
so
at
nuts.
the prices of these tickets.
So Taylor Swift tickets, if you're not watching right now, East Rutherford, New Jersey, which is where the Jets and Giants play, at least for the time being. I feel like they should both be playing in New York if they want to have New York in their name. But Taylor Swift tickets with Phoebe Bridgers.
Yes.
Who I don't even know who that is.
Oh,
and
stop.
I do not know who that is.
So old.
And Gail, just one word.
Yes.
Like,
Gail's a newer artist.
Like Dorothy Gale?
No, just Gail.
Do you know who Dorothy Gale is?
No.
What?
Our age difference just shines so bright.
No,
right
it's
there.
way older than me. You know who Dorothy Gale is?
Why should I?
You never saw Wizard of Oz?
That's not her name.
Dorothy Gale.
Is her last name Gale in the movie?
I will bet the business that her name is Dorothy Gale.
I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't watched movies since I was little. I had no idea that Dorothy had a known last name.
You know what's fucking crazy?
I thought you were talking about the actress, which is
who
Judy Garland.
Kim Jones is on The Fan?
Yes.
So Kim Jones was doing like a Thanksgiving Eve show on The Fan. And I guess she's this really big Wizard of Oz fan, right? Someone called in to talk about Wizard of Oz because I guess what else is there to talk about on Thanksgiving Eve on The Fan? And he actually asked her, do you know Dorothy's last name? And she said no. And I'm like, how could you be this giant fan?
Is it said in the movie?
Yeah, she says, I'm Dorothy Gale. Like she's talking to like the Wicked Witch. No, not even the Wicked Witch, the nice witch, Glinda.
Witch. Okay.
With the little with the fucking thing. And she's like, what's your name? Are you good with your bad witch? She's like, I'm neither. I'm Dorothy Gale. And she does like a curtsy.
I'm gonna be honest, that movie creeps me out. And I watched it when I was little and it gave me like a weird feeling. And then I got older and I learned more about what went on behind the scenes of that movie.
Some guy, supposedly a bunch of people died during like.
And also Judy Garland was like abused. We have definitely talked about this before. Way. Yes, about the Munchkins and Judy Garland and like the rumors. I don't know. Okay, I
Dorothy
believe
Gale.
you. I don't have enough knowledge about that movie. All right, we need to get back to Tick Pick.
Well, you don't really, because honestly, Tick Pick's the best. Everyone knows
We
it.
know it.
And even though we're talking about good news,
That's
and good
true.
news is Dorothy's last name was Gale.
And good news is Just Gale is opening for Taylor Swift, which is the opportunity of a lifetime.
And that's
I love
what
that
they
for her.
call tying things together. So Gale, who I don't know who that is, you just said it, but Bridgers, Taylor Swift, and Dorothy Gale are doing a little concert. What the hell just happened?
A little concert.
A little concert at East Rutherford, New Jersey on May 26th. And right now you can get in for the low price of $2,861.
And that's probably the cheapest day
per ticket.
Yeah.
Let's do it by price. Oh, best deal. Let's do best
deal.
Let's change this to
do the rating system.
Okay. Well, oh my God. The best 5-star, which is obviously everything's broken down by stars.
And
by
look
Tick Pick.
what's available. There's not many good seats available.
Row 13, field 4, which is the section, for $7,000. Who's paying this?
And you know what's crazy?
No one's paying this.
Is like the floor seats, although, I would be lucky to be inside the door.
Where are you sitting? And
I don't know
you're going
yet.
to this
so
one?
Phoebe Bridgers, who you don't know about, Kara, my friend Kara,
Which day are you going?
Saturday. Works
The
for
27th.
her management company or something. And so through Phoebe, God bless Phoebe Bridgers. That's how we're getting these tickets. So shout out to Phoebe Bridgers. Look up her music. She's wonderful, which you wouldn't know, but now you do.
So like even if you're up here,
yeah,
which is further away, but at least it's a straight shot to the stage. $6,337 all in.
Did you see the videos?
But guess what?
What?
Guess what?
Honestly, if you ever wanted to use our code,
no fees.
No fees.
Well, you get $10 off.
Oh, I always
think
it's
10%.
I always think it's 10%.
10% would be excellent.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But if you want to get $10 off any order of over $99 in the app on Tick Pick, either on the website or on the app, for first-time users, you get $10 off. So if you want to use it, let's say for tonight to go to the Mets game,
you might be able to get in for free.
Let's see what tonight's Mets tickets are because this is for, after all, a Mets show, right?
From these prices.
Let's check out the Mets prices for tonight. You can get in tonight on Tick Pick for $7.
Ooh, it's a little pricey.
Let's see about like a better seat. Let's see if you want to sit like behind. Look at all these available seats.
Wild.
If you want to sit in section 112, which is behind the Mets dugout, that's more expensive, $117. Let's do it by star rating. Section 114, row 14, field level seat for $108.
Too much.
That's not a bad price at all.
Too much for how they're
Look
playing
at that
right now.
view. Look at that view.
For 2 hours of baseball and how they're playing right now and $40 parking, it's too much for me.
I'll
pay for the $7 ticket.
People in the comments are saying I had too much caffeine before the podcast. Is that because of Dorothy Gale? Either way,
I think we're just having too much fun for how bad the Mets are.
You know why we're having fun? Because we're not talking about the Mets.
About the Mets.
We're talking about Seeds,
the
Lindor,
Wizard of Oz,
and
Phoebe Bridgers.
Dorothy Gale, and baseball cards, and Baltimore. So there's that. Anyway, listen, guys.
What time is it?
All jokes. I don't know.
Oh.
All jokes aside, obviously we're big Mets fans. We want nothing more than to have a great team.
Of course.
It's not only fun for our mental health, but also for the group and having fun and the brand and everything else we got going on. So while it is fun to maybe sometimes laugh it off, we do take winning and losing very seriously. But if you want to hang out, come on down to the tailgate on Saturday. Thank you so much to Gregory Pellegrino and Bennett, who's going to be throwing out the first pitch. It's still going to say the Seven-Line Army. But Bennett, who is a big
oh my God, you
Phillies
really
fan, will
should.
do the honor.
Not okay. I don't think people will be this aware in the ballpark, but maybe some will. But you should put out there that like Bennett's doing it ahead of time.
Oh, we will. I'm probably going to chop this up.
I was going to say because if people see like on the scoreboard the Seven-Line Army and automatically think it's like another Mets fan from last year, I don't want anyone to start booing.
No,
I don't think
they
anyone
will.
would,
I think they'll read the room. Hopefully,
yeah.
I mean that's a lot to ask sometimes from people, but
Philly people can't read.
Maybe oh boy, maybe they're able to see what's going on. But yeah, we're also allowed to do, which we haven't done yet because obviously it's a commercial. But you're allowed to submit a 60-second video that they would play on the scoreboard.
Oh my God, you should submit the video of Andrew throwing it out last
they
year.
Won't
like just that video.
They won't let us. But I think I don't know if Bennett Strong has some kind of promo video.
Yes.
But
then
if
you
they
should definitely do that instead.
then Gregory could submit the video. They'll play it beforehand. But
right.
I'll I was thinking about in the past that we could come up with some kind of funny video where we're kind of having our fans talk about, you know, we come in like something about like cheesy but funny.
Yeah.
And I don't think they still would allow it because it's totally a
So then
straight
why offer
ad
it?
for us, because it's in the writing.
Stupid.
It's in like they send that one sheet out to whoever sells all these tickets, not thinking it's a Mets group, you know. Right. So anyway, that's the story. Tick Pick, we love you.
Love you, Tick Pick.
Starting June. Is it May?
I
was gonna say,
is it
Moo? Is it Moo? Is it May? Starting June 1st, we do have an official beer sponsor.
Let's go.
It's all going through on June 1st. So every outing after June 1st, we'll have sponsored tailgate content and other fun stuff. So I still can't figure out the legal mumbo jumbo with the betting shit. So I might just say, take a walk to the bettors.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to get a fucking reply. Like I've been writing an email, but like, I just need you to know, if I put a tweet out with my like bet slip that says, here's what I'm betting tonight. If you want to tail it, click this button to join with this promo code. What do I legally have to put into that tweet? And they have not replied to me.
That's wild.
It's very wild. So that's the story. So we might just not have to deal with the betting, even though I really want to, because I think it'd be fun.
There's no phone number to call.
I'm on an email chain with like 4 people.
No,
I don't know if they're even watching
someone.
the show.
Get
Who
someone
calls
on the phone.
anybody? Nobody calls.
People who need to get shit done. Get on the phone.
Do you remember?
I'll call.
Do you remember your first time ever seeing like a car phone? Do you remember cars used to have phones? Probably no, right? No. I was texting with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about like, there was a kid's house when we were growing up. We were in like 7th grade. We'd go to that kid's house. There was no rules at this house. So we loved going to this one kid's house because they had a finished basement and we could do whatever we want at the house.
It's lit.
Like spin the bottle in the basement, 7 minutes in heaven, whatever the hell it was.
God.
Is that what it's called? 7 minutes in
Yeah.
heaven? Well, we were young.
I know. Okay.
7th grade, 8th grade, whatever it is. And I can't believe fucking Amelia's getting older. I'm going to be outside everywhere she is with binoculars.
Yeah, you're going to remember everything you did as a teenager.
6 years from now. But anyway, he was saying something like, oh, do you remember this house? Whatever. Yeah. I was like, of course. How could you forget it? Like
the house.
But we were saying like, yeah, and his dad was the first person to ever have a car phone. Like cars had phone numbers.
So silly.
Is that weird?
I don't.
I told Amelia that yesterday, and she's like, wait, so you would call, like, she doesn't really grasp what life was like without cell phones.
But
so like,
that's what I'm saying is
that car had a phone number.
There are kids that don't, like, they see like an old fashioned phone or like a house phone and they don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love those videos
like
where they give things to kids. Like, here, use this Walkman. They're like,
they don't know what it is.
How do they put a tape in?
I mean, to be fair, like, I don't think I was ever in a car that had a car phone, to my knowledge.
Well, I was, and it was Monty. Monty had a car phone in the Mercedes in like 1993.
That's wild. I think maybe I remember one of my dad's cars. I don't think he ever used it, but like now that you said that,
yeah.
I don't know. Dad, if you're watching, let me know if you ever had a car phone.
Anyway, let's go Mets.
Go Mets.
If you're going to the ballpark tonight, have fun, for real.
Let me know what Kate Upton's wearing.
Kate Upton, we'll see what she's rocking tonight. Hopefully it's something from the 7 line. I doubt it, but
you should send her stuff.
It's kind of hard to get in contact with Kate Upton. I mean, a lot of the wives do have stuff, but
Can't
like,
you just like bring it to Citi Field and like send it to the locker room? And
I
give it
could,
to
but I feel like
Justin?
that's kind of cheesy. Like, I send stuff to the wives when, like, not that they ask for it, but like certain wives will like see, like, we post something, and then they'll comment or like it. I'm like, hey, if you want one, let me know, whatever, and I'll mail it to the ballpark. Or
you should just send dresses for the wives.
The one wife that I was talking with recently, she's like, I appreciate it, but like, she's like, don't send it because I'm probably not going to wear it. So like, she's like, oh, save your inventory.
Yeah.
But whatever, we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's go Mets. Have fun tonight if you're headed to the ballpark. See you guys next Tuesday. Share the show if you want to be in the running for this Lindor grass growing bobblehead, which you can get for free at the ballpark on Saturday. Get some topsoil, plant your own seeds, and have fun with it. Even though I know Julia will not be doing that.
No.
But I definitely will. So see you guys next week. Pick up your Baltimore tickets. Watch Queens Korner before each series. They're not doing one today. I guess it didn't work out with their timing. But after this series, before the weekend, definitely watch Queens Korner for all the X's and O's. And that's it.
Scuba.
Oh, my God. All right. Later, guys. Put in the books.